Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. Earlier on today, we all saw the headline EFCC and Cubana chief priest to settle out of court. I don't know how true that headline is, but I saw it on the blogs. Now, before we go into today's episode, don't forget today's episode is sponsored by buydirectfromusa.com. Buydirectfromusa.com. Anything you need from the United States of America delivered to your doorstep. Buydirectfromusa.com. Anything you need: phones, accessories, clothes, shoes, cars, car parts, watches, scarves, belts, shoes, anything you need from the USA delivered to your doorstep. Buydirectfromusa.com. Just type it in your browser, buydirectfromusa.com. For anything you're looking for and you cannot get locally, you can get from abroad. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, pop my money guns. Double click the screen on TikTok if you're watching on TikTok now. This is how to watch Daddy Freeze on TikTok. You hold your phone like this and that'll bring more people to the house. So let's do this. Let's do this. Follow my number one gifter while you're at it on TikTok. Follow my number one gifter. Pop those money guns. That's how you do it. All right. So let us go into today's topic. Why is Bobrisky's case different from Cubana chief priest case? And I'm going to start first of all by telling you that this is my opinion, and my opinion may be wrong. But this is what I think. And did you notice something? Nobody is bringing up ethnic sentiments here. When they are demolishing houses, if they demolish 2 Yoruba houses, 1 Igbo, the narrative will be they are demolishing Igbo people's houses. Let's have this conversation. Cubana chief priest is Igbo. The head of EFCC is Yoruba. Bobrisky is Yoruba. The Igbo man is attending his case from home. The Yoruba man is in prison. If it were the other way around, we will not hear word. I just said I should chip that one in. I know you might disagree with me. But if it was Bobrisky that went home and Cubana chief priest locked up, we will not hear the end of it too. Because I can see that quite a lot of people are trying to push that narrative, that tribalistic narrative. And if you look at this case, as far as I'm concerned, was fair. Let's be honest. Someone said they will come for me. I'm just saying. Politics, all of us who have been political need to be careful not to allow them to use politics to divide us. Just think about what would have happened. The first question say, they don't lock Igbo man, they leave Yoruba man. Meanwhile, it is the merit of each of their cases. And it could have been the other way around. Bobrisky could have pleaded not guilty. And Cubana chief priest could have pleaded guilty. And Cubana chief priest would have been behind bars, and Bobrisky would be attending the case from home. So all those of you saying, oh, Daddy Freeze, they will come for you. Come for me for what? Did I lie? Politics have used, you see, let me tell you, your politicians sit down and drink and eat with each other. All of them, they are friends. They just need you to be divided so you can have religious and ethnic sentiments. That's how they will rule you. Where whoever one of them, whether it's Atiku, whether it's Obio, whether it's Tinubu, they are all friends in the back. Forget anything anybody is telling you. They know their self. The only way they can win is to get you to fight each other. And when you are fighting each other, you have all these narratives. Oh, the Yoruba people don't like this person. Igbo people don't like me. Then you will push the narrative. Let's take a holistic look at this. In Yoruba land, or what is believed to be Yoruba land, a Yoruba man goes to prison and an Igbo man for the same offense does not go to prison. If it were the other way around, is this what we'll be saying? Let's ask that question. And why did I raise this? So that we divorce ourselves from ethnic sentiments and start looking at case by case merit. If they demolish, for one Igbo man house, they demolish two Yoruba man, one Bini man, one Hausa man house, two. Are you with me? Of course, there'll be once in a while where there'll be ethnic sentiments. Yes, we cannot run away from that. But let us not paint the entire country and using ethnic colors. Let us look at the merit of, and I want you all to take, because tomorrow something will happen and the guy they'll catch one guy and they want to say, hey, it's because I'm Igbo or because I'm Bini or because I'm Hausa, that's why they are doing this to me. And you will buy into it because you've been trained from when you were 7. The ethnic sentiments were plugged into your subconscious. So you are going to think in sentiments and emotions. Brume, God bless you. Thank you for popping my money gun. If you're watching on TikTok, pop my money gun. That's my brother, Brume. Haven't seen him in a while, all the way in Canada. Amazing guy. We might not agree politically, but we love each other. Brume, all my love. One guy just there shouting, Mugu, Mugu, Mugu. Gba rapture lori buruku. You and your papa for house, na be Mugu. Gba rapture lori TikTok. Ovu. His name now Ovu. Instead of Ovu, your name supposed to be Ofu. So let's have this conversation. Let us not be shy to give the government credit when they are working or when it seems like they are working. Now, let us examine the personality of Cubana chief priest and the personality of Bobrisky. I am doing a free and fair analysis. Both of them are my friends. I like the two of them. I think they're both great guys. Or I think Cubana chief priest is a great guy and Bobrisky is a great Bob. But you see, I want us to talk about events leading to their arrests. They both sprayed money, which we now know to be a crime. In the days or the months or the weeks prior to this is my opinion, I may be wrong, Bobrisky engaged in internet fracas with a couple of people, and he had this air of being untouchable around him. I don't know if you guys noticed it. There was that air of there's nothing anybody can do to me. I don't know if you guys noticed this. Cubana chief priest, on the other hand, didn't talk much. Even though he was arrested by EFCC, he kept giving EFCC kudos. Say, EFCC, you know, sending subtle signs of, I'm not above the law. Cubana chief priest never made it look like, nobody will arrest me. You know who I be? I be CP. Even when Cubana chief priest first came out, he still gave a shout out to EFCC. Baba EFCC. Now VIP, when you go there, if they call you, no fear, just go there. You see, the organs at the top, they are human beings. Even though they are in a position of authority, they are still human beings. He's done something that is perceived to be wrong. Of course, he has pleaded not guilty. So when you plead not guilty, it means you are saying you did not do it. But he is not bashing the institute. He's not saying, you are in EFCC, come after me, you see what I will do for you. He is creating the opportunity for a negotiation, while being advised by lawyers that are sound. I'm not saying the other party's lawyers are not sound, but I can tell you that Cubana chief priest has sound legal advice, is well comported himself. Yes, he may have made one or two mistakes here and there, but he's carrying himself very regularly. He is attributing to himself respect. Now, let me tell you something. I've been to court before. Lawyers and lawyers sit down and have a beer at the end of the court session. And inside that place, they make proposals to each other. Say, Baba, you know what? Why don't you tell your clients? So that we'll not, because listen, the longer the case, the more money the government wastes. If you go to court to trial once a month and you argue a case and you spend 1.5 years, now government time and government money. So sometimes lawyers sit together and say, you know what, why don't you propose this to your client? Let me propose this to my client. Let's see how we can go to mediation and settle this. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. So when you are when you are not fighting an institution, what you are doing is you are creating opportunity for dialogue. Now, there's what you call the worst possible punishment. Let me give you an example. What is the worst possible punishment? For instance, if they say that for spraying naira notes, you get a minimum of 6 months in prison and a 50,000 naira fine, or a 50,000 naira fine, or both. The worst punishment possible is they will give you the jail and the 50,000 naira fine. That's the worst possible scenario. The best possible scenario is they tell you to pay the fine and go home. Now, between pay the fine and go home and go to jail and still pay the fine, there's what you call the judge's discretion. It is up to the judge. Now, they say the judges don't look at, they look at facts and they look at figures. Yes, and it is your facts and your figures that will bring you to whether you are guilty or not. But when they are giving you the sentence, the judge's sentiment can come into play. Let's imagine Sugar Destiny stole my Amstel Malta. Now, Sugar Destiny was taken to court. She was crying. Oh, she's really sorry. She had nothing to eat. The malt was the only thing available, and she's going to work and replace it. But at the end of the day, after going to trial, she was found guilty of drinking my malt. Whether she cried, whether she laughed the judge, it cannot change a guilty to a non-guilty or not guilty verdict. But you see, the way you comport yourself can make the judge go from the lowest minimum to the highest maximum possible in a case. Because if the judge sees that you are not, the judge is not convinced that you are remorseful, they can decide to give you the maximum possible sentence. And it is legal. And what I'm telling you is legal. It is up to the judge. I'm not a lawyer, by the way. Neither did I study law, nor am I a judge. But I'm telling you from my experience going to court, this is what seems to prevail. And that is why the day you are going to stand in front of a judge, they'll tell you to dress like this. They'll tell you when the judge talks to you, don't say this. It doesn't mean that if you are not guilty, the judge will make you guilty. No. Even if you go there, wear hooded top, wear sunglasses, wear face cap and bend the cap like this and say, yo, judge, she's not going to send you to jail, or he's not going to send you to jail because you dressed in a certain... They might not like you. They might tell you to walk out of their court and come dressed properly next time. Or they might just say, okay, you know what, just talk. But you see, if you are now guilty, that way you comported yourself can now determine if you are going to... If sometimes the judge just look at, yes, he's guilty, okay, just give him fine. Or just give him sentence. When a judge says give him both the fine and the sentence, then it... I don't know if I'm making sense to you. We need to also understand that social media is a very powerful tool in the hands of the people who use social media. And we've got to be very careful the kind of impressions we leave on social media. Oh, yes. Sometimes I sit down and I shake way for people's fathers. Just imagine one girl goes home crying, saying, the mama will be judge, can't say, waiting do you say, daddy free shake way for me. He say, no go better for my mama. It no go better for your mama, where be me. The next day, they now bring Daddy Freeze in front of the judge. Oh, this Daddy Freeze. Now you shake way for my daughter the other day for your life. We are human beings. May we behave ourselves in such a way that people not be tempted to use their maximum power on us. And it is on us. Remember the saying that goes, you don't have a second chance to create a first impression. So, in my opinion, Cubana chief priest is more of a role model to the younger generation than Bobrisky. Cubana chief priest is someone EFCC, from my opinion, might want to work with. Say, okay, after we've gotten by our differences, and yes, you now realize that what you did was wrong and you're never going to do it again. Why don't you help us spread the message? You see, people, if they brought Bobrisky and they brought Cubana chief priest, and Cubana chief priest holds this malt drink and says, this is the best drink for Friday night, and Bobrisky holds this drink and says, this is the best drink for Friday night, would you buy this drink because of Bobrisky or because of Cubana chief priest? Let's have that conversation. Would you buy the drink? Would Cubana chief priest influence you to buy a drink? Oh yes, Bobrisky too has a lot of influence. But Cubana chief priest is a typical African role model. Made money, enjoys life, is a cool guy. I'm not saying Bobrisky is none of these things. Bobrisky is also a cool guy. But at the end of the day, you will be more likely influenced by Cubana chief priest than Bobrisky when it comes to a serious matter. So if Cubana chief priest says, don't you ever abuse the naira, be careful, don't spend the naira. He doesn't even have to be endorsed fully. So one day, just see Cubana chief priest dancing at a party, just brings out his ATM. Someone just say, Cubana chief priest, no spray money. Say, the fear of EFCC is the beginning of wisdom. That's all. He has passed a message that the EFCC can use to teach the youth that the spending culture has to be done away with. If you are going to use card, if you are going to use fake print money specially printed for the purpose of spending, whatever it is, you are going to be discouraged. You are going to be discouraged from throwing money around at parties and, quote and unquote, abusing the naira. So we have two situations. We have one guy who seems a little bit more mature than the other. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not particularly mature. I'm also known for shakering for people's parents. I can also be very brash. So I don't pray to be in a situation that is not right, because they might look at me and say, this Daddy Freeze, your mouth is too much. You understand? But one thing I wouldn't do is I'll be very careful with the kind of threats I make, because I particularly remember watching Bob going off against one of the people he was having a clash with, and him saying nobody can do anything to him in this country, something along those lines. Like I said, I may be wrong. I stand corrected. So those are my thoughts. I'm going to open up the phone line. I said phone lines. I don't think so. I don't reach Cool FM back. I'm going to open up the opportunity for you guys to share your thoughts. If you're watching on Facebook, remember, you can buy my stars. Click on today's video, bottom left-hand corner. You'll see how to buy my stars. I'm only going to be reading comments of those people who buy 1,000 stars and above. If you're watching on YouTube, right there where you type your message, bottom right hand corner, you will see a rectangle with a $sign in the middle. Click on it. That is how you buy super chats, super stickers, and super likes. If you're watching on TikTok, just double click the screen, tap away, double click the screen. If you're watching on TikTok, this is how you watch Daddy Freeze's TikTok. Tap, tap, tap away, tap away, tap away. It's only 1,600 likes. Let's get it to 5K before we move to any other thing, before I start taking calls. Let's move this to 5K. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Let's tap away, tap, 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 tap. 19. We're going to 2K now. That's right, we're on 2K. Tap away, tap away, tap, 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 tap away. Pop those money guns. Pop those money guns. Follow my number one gifter if you're watching on TikTok. Follow my number one gifter. Big shout out to Brume. Very big shout out to Brume. Pop my money guns. Pop my money guns. All right, keep tapping away. Keep tapping away. Keep tapping away. Almost 4K. Keep tapping away. Keep tapping away. Keep tapping away. Yeah, we're on 3.5 now. Keep tapping away. 3.6. Keep tapping. Let more people come and join us on TikTok. 4K. We're going straight to 5K. We are 4.2. Tap, tap, tap. Tap away, 4-4. Tap away, tap away, tap away, tap away, tap it, tap it, tap it. Tap your phone like you don't like the screen. You want to break it. Tap away, 4K, 9 and 5,000 likes. Yes. That's some love right there on TikTok. So let me bring somebody live and let me see what the conversation is going to be about. Brandy Garuba is joining us live. Brandy, how are you doing? Brume, where are you? I thought I saw you earlier on. Natural Gambia, how you doing?
Daddy Freeze, good evening. It's been a long time. I really miss you guys. But I've been watching you. Like,
sister. So what are your thoughts on today's matter?
Daddy Freeze, I told you before, this Bob case now, I told you before that I don't really think it's because of the Naira they are holding Bobrisky. I'm just being sincere. I don't know. That's my thoughts, my feelings that I have, understand. I think they just want to show Bobrisky a little bit of a lesson, because I don't know what to call her, she or he, anyone, you know. He's always bragging that nobody can touch him. He have a lot of influence. Nothing can happen, you know. So I don't really think it's because of the naira. I just think that they just want to teach him a little bit of a lesson, you know, understand. And for the Cubana, I know Nigerian system that it freeze. Something is not really right there. No, I'm not in support that. Well, I don't understand that let's settle it out of court. Why that it freeze? Why? If he's guilty, it should be charged as well. If he's guilty, you understand. But I know now, Cubana chief priest, get hand, girl, you know people and all that. But I don't really think it's because he said he's not guilty. That's why they leave him. I just feel there's something, you know. Our system is not something we'll just say 100%. You understand? I don't trust them. You understand me? So for the Bob, because both of them that refuse, they are guilty. Both of them, we have seen a lot of videos, we have seen a lot. You understand? Both of them are guilty. As you can see it. You too now that refuse, you can see. So they are guilty, but I don't think it's because of the naira note. That's why they are keeping Bobrisky. You understand me? Or maybe Bobrisky didn't meet up the things that they ask him. You understand? The money or whatever they're asking him, or maybe they are holding Bobrisky in. They're holding him back because of something else that I don't really understand. I don't really understand why they're keeping it. I don't like Bobrisky. I'm not a fan of Bobrisky. But I just feel that they are not being fair. Because that same situation, I think they are not being fair on Bobrisky. That's my opinion. That's my belief. Nobody can change that. You understand me? So I think if Chief Cubana is guilty, they should also give him what is supposed. They should serve him what he deserves. Like for real. Like for real. Forget say that if you say, okay, this one get money pass this one get upper hand pass this one get upper hand. No, if he's guilty, like more no say the law they work. Even though we know say the law not they work for that our country that it is. When we know say the law they work now. You understand?
How would you suggest that the law is not working?
No, that the freeze. A lot of laws are not working in that country that it freeze. Even though I'm not staying in Nigeria, you understand? But I know my country. I know the laws doesn't work for everybody that it freeze. It works differently. The laws that works for the rich people, that's not the law that is working for the poor people. That's just the truth. The poor people, they don't really have a lot of say, or you understand. But the rich people, they can definitely find a way out, and they'll just walk out of that thing freely. You understand? So I think the judge, they should be fair on this. Because it's a public thing.
But why
we
do
are
you think the judge
you understand?
is not fair? Why do you think the judge is not fair?
No, the judge is not being fair. The freeze, because if the judge is fair, that the same crime Bobrisky committed, that the same crime Cubana chief priest.
Okay, let's talk about the merits of the case.
Do you know that the Cubana one is even more worse than that Bobrisky?
Bobrisky pleaded guilty. Cubana pleaded not guilty.
That the freeze will forget saying guilty. That the freeze, you don't get this game. You know Nigerian laws. You know how this system work.
It's like you don't. Every country in the world, including the one you are in, once you plead guilty, you enter at best a plea bargain. Once you plead not guilty, you proceed to trial to prove beyond reasonable doubt your guilt. There
Yes,
is
I know.
nothing
That's
in,
I know
listen,
that's
I
very
know
wrong.
the Nigerian system has its issues. Don't get me wrong. But in this case, I do not see any foul play at all. Any foul play
Mm,
at all. This is not a money play.
mm,
This is not a foul play. This is two simple cases. Two
mm.
simple cases. Oladipupo Mesole, thank you so much for your super chat. People don't understand the law. Bob cut a deal to avoid money laundering sentence. CP pleaded not guilty. The stress of prosecuting him is more.
Mm. I don't know why. Though I just feel it's not because of it's not because of the naira notes spray that they are holding Bobrisky. I just feel there's more to it, to more
More
to
like
Bobrisky
what?
case. You understand? I don't really know. Maybe money laundering and all that. I don't know. I just feel they are holding him because of something, not just because of his spray naira note. You understand? I just feel so. You
Hi,
understand? So
Tolu
I just feel the
Honeyco.
punishment is just too much. So what happened? Hey, good evening. Good
All
evening.
right, Tolu Honeyco, what are your thoughts?
I'm about to break some serious cable. So Bob, Bob, I think, threw himself at the mercy of a system that is prejudiced towards him as a person and not accepting of him as a person, expecting a fair sentence a fair sentence, which is
But he
a lot
got
of
a fair
acts.
sentence.
It's not a fair sentence.
Why?
It's not fair because it was his first time offense, and you threw the book at him and gave him the worst possible outcome.
No, that's not the worst possible outcome. The worst possible outcome is prison and the fine.
I don't know about.
It's
I don't
not
know about the prison
the
and the
best
fine,
possible
but
outcome is the fine. The worst possible outcome is both. So he got something in between.
The judge saw that a fine would be nothing for Bob. Thank you. 50K is nothing. That prison sentence is what it's, that's how you can hold him. So that's the worst possible punishment for Bob, for that particular person. That's the worst possible punishment. Yes. So I think they just want to teach him a lesson. Threw himself at the mercy of a system that expects them to be fair, and they are not accepting of you. There's no way a Nigerian system would be fair to a cross-dresser or a transgender person. Mm. It's just not. It's the way Nigeria is. First of all, our laws are not even accommodating of that kind of lifestyle. One. And so, yeah, it's impossible to receive the same kind of sentence or the same outcome as Cubana. And that freeze, when you said, who would I rather be influenced by, Cubana or Bob? I personally would rather be influenced by Bob. Ask me why.
Why?
Yeah. Because Bob is a visionary. I'm going to explain why I'm saying this. He's a visionary. He doesn't conform to the norm. Mm-hmm. He doesn't conform to the norm. And if you look at it, in say 50 years, like I said, in 50 years, we would remember Bob. First of all, I don't even know what Cubana is known for. I personally don't know I just know he's a money spender and, someone that flaunts money on social media. I really don't know what he's into. Maybe nightclub. I'm not sure what his business is. I think he has a club. He has a club. But Bob, I know Bob is a cross-dresser or a transgender that makes his money from the internet, from influencing, influencing for brands, from dancing on social media, from a huge social media presence. That's how he makes his money.
Okay, I want to ask you, for sure. Do you support the sisterhood or the brotherhood? Sisterhood. These are the freeze. I never come online this, but
explain it. Me, I'm for fairness. I'm for fairness. And I think personally, I think what grown adults do in their privacy is their business. It's not anybody's business. And in some years ago, in about let me say, in 60 years ago, I'm just giving an estimate. 60 years ago, interracial marriages were illegal in this country that I live in America. Interracial marriages were illegal. You, my sister, I'm sure you're married to a Caucasian, aren't you?
This one no get husband.
I'm not married.
You're not married.
I don't like what that the freeze they do sometimes. That means I don't like you're just casting here all the time.
No vex, you get husband.
I'm not married.
Okay. I apologize. I'm stupid.
You mean yes, I'm not married.
But just say interracial marriages were illegal in this country, but today they are not. And there was a time that people that stood for that kind of relationship were looked at as the outlaws. Yes, same as slavery. When it was legal and it was a thing of no, that's how people grew their wealth. That's how people showed off their wealth. Having slaves, the number of slaves, and that sort of thing. There was a time that was legal, and the people that first started the movement against slavery were outlaws. People did not like them. People were not in support.
So you are in support of the sisterhood.
I'm not supporting
you are supporting the brotherhood changing to the sisterhood.
Brotherhood
that stands against is not conforming to the norm. The fact that right now it's illegal in Nigeria doesn't mean it will always be illegal.
But is it something you are hoping will become legal?
There is something I want to say.
See, Daddy Freeze, however we play it, we are all we are all following the West. The West
you are who is all me? I'm not following any West.
All of us, Daddy Freeze.
I'm
all
not
of
there.
Us.
Okay. I'm not there. Only she is following them.
Well, do you know? Okay, just as she was saying that that she doesn't know Cubana in anything that he's doing or whatever. Do you know that is really? I mean, it's true. The only thing I always see him that go to events, pay a lot of money, show a lot of stuff, And you know, things like this pressure a lot of our young youths, the boys.
Come.
So
waiting Bobrisky they do now you know come pressure the boys.
No, I'm not siding it. I'm not taking any side. I'm just even Bobrisky is a bad influence to the young ones, to the youth as well. Because what he's doing, I believe God creates a woman as a woman, a man as a man. It should be like that. You understand me? Any other thing for me is wrong.
By somebody, because somebody that is, dressed in a certain way, you are not doing a good job as a parent. If your children are going to be influenced by somebody, or take for instance their orientation is going to change because of what somebody is doing on social media, you are not doing a very good job as a parent. Are you following? Does that make sense? Okay, I'm just wondering, how, when they say
I'm trying to
is changing the mindset of young people, or is corrupting young people. I'm like, how? If you are that way, you are that way. Nobody is going to preach you into being a certain way that you're not. If you want it, you want it. Then nobody's going to.
Yeah, I heard someone said, how many people Cubana employed? Yes, of course. We are not doubting doubts. Yes, he's a businessman. Yes, of course, he's a businessman. But he do show up. We can agree that he do show up a lot. You understand me? I know he's a businessman. You understand me? Because some people are writing some stuff here, and we are not taking any side. We're just trying to say our own opinion, how we feel about the whole issue. You understand? So that's just it. Because this Bob matter that the freezing, I think say they go even free Bob. That's okay. 3 weeks now. 3 weeks they go just okay. But I think the thing is really like going out of hand. And I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Bob, but I feel so sad. I feel the Jay's sentence is not being fair. Really, that's just my opinion. You understand me? Because I don't know, because he said he's guilty. Now the freeze, we all know that, because of that guilty weight. I don't know, Sha. I'm not a lawyer, but I just feel there's something not right about this whole case. For me, I just feel there's something not right about the case of Bob and Cubana, the way they are playing it. So I don't really.
All right, let me bring somebody here to have a conversation with you guys concerning this. Let us see what the thoughts of other people are as we round off. Pop my money guns if you're watching on TikTok.
Daddy Freeze, I think you should bring the man. Because I can see the internet. Okay.
Agogo, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine.
Good evening.
Good evening, my darling sister.
Okay. So for this issue, right? The fact of the issue is that Bob was tried for abusing Naira. It was not, the trial was not about his sexual preference.
Is ex preference. Don't use that word. Ex preference.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Oh, sorry. I apologize. It's not about that preference, which we all know as Nigerians living in Nigeria. That is ex preference. Is a crime on its own. But he was not tried for that. He was tried for the money he abused. Now, I would say he got a poor representation, because his lawyer would have been able to say, this is how we should go, would have been able to advise him, or, say, let's plead not guilty, and then we take it from there. But in the eyes of the law, you pleaded guilty. You will be punished. So that's what it is. It's not. I'm not saying it that maybe it's because of his preference or because he brags a lot or something. No, he did something and he pleaded guilty to the thing that he did, and then he's serving the punishment for what he did. I don't want us to be like think it's a hunt or because he brags a lot and all this. I don't want us to look at it from that angle. I just want us to he did something. He pleaded guilty, and when you plead guilty, you definitely, go for it because of that. And then Bob also brags, just like, I don't follow either of them, but I see two of them. Both of them have similar lifestyle. The difference is that Bob is doing his own as a cross-dresser, and the other guy is doing his own as a businessman or a bartender, something like that, So that's just my own angle. So both of them, they are both in the social media space. If you have a good lawyer, you see people who commit worse offense. But if they can get a good lawyer, the punishment will even be very reduced. So I think he did not get a good lawyer. That's what I think.
So, and the thing about pleading guilty, he pled guilty, but the thing about pleading guilty is once you plead guilty, you throw yourself at the mercy of the judge.
Yes.
So it's not, and judges, like human beings, like human beings have, they have feelings, they have emotions, they have people they like, they have, they form their own impressions of.
Don't forget the law is not emotional. You cannot do that.
But judges are humans.
They are humans. It's just the same way why a doctor will not be allowed, or a surgeon will not be allowed to carry out some procedures on their family members. So for judges, even if you want to say they are humans, yes, we know they are humans, but in the eyes of the law, they have to keep their emotions and sentiments and family members.
They are supposed to.
They have to keep that aside.
They are supposed to. But in situations where
he pleaded
guilty, it's the judge's discretion. Do you think that the judge's emotional feelings about that person will come into play? Where if the situation is now the judge's discretion. Don't you think the judge's sentiments towards that person would show in that situation?
Okay, yes, I agree with you. But however, don't forget that this thing about the Naira has been on, like this law has been there, and there would always be what we call like a scapegoat or something like, yeah, something like that. They would always want to, okay, even in the US, it's the same thing. There are many people committing law, but they will just look for one person to let you know that this is still a crime, to remind you that this is still a crime. You understand? So if you are in the eyes of the public now decide that you want to do this thing, they would rather use you so that the people that are not up to your level, we know that this person of this status did this thing and was punished for it. Now call me when not get person. If I do am, it not gonna make sense. You get? So that's just that he was just the collateral. He was the one they needed somebody of that caliber to tell everybody that not do that thing. Let's not forget during COVID, Funke Akinde, yes, she's Funke, right? She was when she had a party during the COVID.
Yes.
She was punished also. You
Yes.
understand? So that's what it is. They'll just look for somebody that people look up to, that have the fan base and all those things. When we deal with you, those other small ones, we go calm down. You understand? So now, if other people will not get that backup or money or something, if they want spray now, they will do with caution. And I believe right now, many people, they will rather print those fake ones that you can buy and use to do whatever ceremony you want to do. So I don't think it was because of his preference, or they were looking for how to just punish him. I just feel he was a perfect collateral for them at that point for this very crime. That's what I feel.
All right, guys, this is as far as we can go today. I need to go get some rest so I can come right back a little bit later and we continue our conversations. God bless you all. Thank you all so much
Thank
for
you.
coming
Thank
live.
you.
All right, good night,
We go back
ladies.
to our
Bye.
Jackpot gist tonight to how
Okay.
Jackpot scattered my
Daddy
marriage.
freeze, daddy freeze. And they mean say, say I tell you say I want pack. So I'm in the new house now. I'm trying to arrange with work, school, and everything it has been very stressful. But I think I'll be done this Saturday, so I'll be having time to come on live. So
All right, Sha, no get
to
better,
gist with
Sha.
you
Now,
Okay.
waiting,
guys.
I won't tell you with that. Take care.
Please,
Bye.
good night.
Good night.